you'll never guess.
The winners to the third race in Belmont.
Better.
Numbers for next week's Powerball drawing.
Better.
The secret for how to stop scheduling youth sports events on Sunday morning.
Even better than that.
Oh my gosh, it must be incredible. What is it?
We've got an advanced look at this year's Storytent script.
Seriously?
Don't you get it?
Yeah, you know how this is the 18th annual Storytime?
Yeah.
And how it's always put together by the 7th and 8th grade classes and performed by the entire church school?
Yeah.
And how you're supposed to be out of it by 8th grade, but somehow we can never get out of being in it.
Yeah.
But at least with this script, you can find the smallest parts and skip most of the rehearsals.
Sweet.
Wait a minute. The script with the smallest parts also has to have the biggest parts. The starring role. The one I've been waiting for all my life. My destiny. What's the big role?
I don't know, we haven't had a chance to get to read it yet.
Well, what's it about?
Hard to tell. Something about the prophet Samuel calling David to be the king of Israel.
That's it. King David, only King David. I'm signing up.
Don't you think you should read the script first?
And let someone else take the big role? No way. I'm up.
Disaster.
Definitely.
How about we just read this thing and make sure first?
Okay, so how exactly are we supposed to do this?
And how can we do a good job?
What do you think?
Well, you know how we just rebuilt our church on the inside?
Yeah.
And how it turned out so beautiful?
Yeah.
Well, now we want to build an outdoor worship space too.
Wow, that sounds incredible. Maybe even an Eagle Scout project for a second. What's the problem?
Well, look at the wood we've got to work with.
Really, yikes.
I think it's some of the wood that was left over from the building project.
Well, I hope at least it was great.
How can anybody expect us to build such a great church space with warped lumber like this?
Well, I know it sounds funny, but that reminds me of the story.
Wait a minute!
Oh, no. Are we entering the story tent zone again?
There is a fifth dimension which is unknown to humankind. A dimension as vast as space, time as infinity. This is the dimension of the imagination. So I've entered the storytelling zone.
Who are you?
New kid! I heard you were a welcoming church and hey, I thought I'd check you out.
Well, we were a welcoming church.
Be nice. I like weird stuff, and sometimes with new people that can be a little bit
Scary.
Off-putting?
Alienating?
Actually, I was going to say tricky.
Oh.
right.
Oh yeah, tricky. Right. That's what we meant.
Right.
Right. So, what's the starting exam?
Oh, you had to ask.
Thought for a minute we might get away this year.
Well, these two were wondering how they got stuck with such a tough job, and I couldn't help but think of the prophet Samuel and how he had to find a new king of Israel.
Oh yeah. Tough job, that king thing.
Having to decide who gets to peel your grape every
Who
day.
gets to fan you when it gets too hot?
Rough
I
crowd?
have no idea. And besides, the king thing was a little more.
We're not going to get out of hearing the story, are we?
Afraid not.
Then go ahead.
It all started way back when Israel was in the middle of all these wars, and the king, the prophet Samuel had to figure out what to do, and the people were afraid of getting wiped out. And, yeah.
Sam knows what he's doing.
Oh my gosh, look at this mess. The people are afraid of getting wiped out in the middle of all these wars, and the new king is just not so great. What's a prophet to do?
Samuel, go find Israel a new king.
What was that?
It was the voice of God. I don't know. Besides, I already know the story.
Really are a little tricky.
Anyway, Samuel went off to find a new king.
I'm off to find a new king. That looks like a good place to start.
You must be Samuel.
Why, yes, but how did you know?
And you're looking for a new king of Israel.
Yes, but that is supposed to be a secret. How did you know?
I didn't. It was just a little trick to cut through the exposition material.
I understand.
So, here's the deal. I've got 7 kids, and each and every one of them would make the very best king of Israel. Well, except maybe the last one. He's just a shepherd, and a poet, and a songwriter, and a musician. Well, at least he called it music. Now, Sinatra, Tony Bennett, that's I'm not a critic or anything, but if you ask me, what this kid makes is noise. Classic underachiever. You get the drift.
Boy, talk about foreshadowing.
You guys are shameless.
Perhaps I should meet this poet, musician, shepherd, underachiever.
David, if you're looking for somebody God is calling to win ancient Israelite idol, maybe. But if God is calling you to find a king, you want one of my older kids.
I don't know.
Trust me, Samuel. You want to meet these kids. Children!
There they are, kings of Israel.
You really are tricky.
Come on, work with me.
Really?
Come on, give them a chance. Look how big and strong they are. Look how handsome and inspirational.
No.
If somebody had invented television yet, they'd look great.
What the heck is television? Look, this whole king thing, it's a lot like being an American president. It's not just about style. You need substance, too.
Oh, you want substance? We've got substance. Abinadab, come on down here.
My name is Abinadab. Name me King of Israel, and I promise you 2 falafels in every pot and a camel in every garage.
Go ahead, ask him a question.
Fine. According to a recent poll, 1/5 of Israelites can't locate ancient Israel on a world map. Why do you think this is?
I personally believe that ancient Israelites are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps. And I believe that our education, like such as in South Assyria and the Babylon and everywhere like such as, and I believe that our education over here in ancient Israel should help Israel, or should help South Assyria and the Babylon and the Holy Land countries, so we can build up our future for our children. And of course, world peace.
Seriously?
Did I do good, Pop?
You did great, Abinadab.
Am I gonna do King Pop?
Not today, Abinadab.
Stupid country. I don't want to be king anyway.
Okay, I admit it. The kid was nervous, but I've got other kids.
Oh, I know. I know. Send me that, David.
You won't like him. He's different.
Oh, no.
Ma, come on down.
All right, yeah, we get it. One by one, they all step forward, and then one by one, Samuel says that there's something wrong with them.
There doesn't have to be anything wrong with anyone.
Fine. For whatever reason, they weren't the chosen one. Then they go get the shepherd kid in from the field, and surprise, surprise, the kid that nobody expected to be special turns out to float 6 inches off the
The
ground.
kid doesn't.
It's a metaphor. Don't stop. He's on a roll.
It doesn't matter. The kid gets to be king, and then the brothers don't. Israel is saved, and the king, he's the best king that anybody ever had. Moral, you can't judge a book by its cover. Good things come in small packages. God calls, and don't waste your time trying to figure it out. It's great, but what on earth does any of this have to do with us getting stuck? with a lousy job trying to build an outdoor church with this stupid warped lumber.
Yeah, what he said.
Doesn't anyone get it?
Actually, I was beginning to wonder the same thing.
You too? Well, alright, look, it's true that David became king.
I told you,
He also became a great king.
the greatest king in the history of Israel.
Maybe, but,
I knew it.
but that's not the only point. Or at least that's not my point.
Fine, so what's the point we're missing?
Well, the Bible tells us what happens to David, that God called David, and David answered the call and became king.
Yeah, I got that part.
But David wasn't perfect. In fact, he got somebody killed just because that person had something he wanted.
Okay, now it's getting a little interesting.
And besides, there's more to the story. Part of the story that the Bible doesn't really tell us about. But that doesn't mean it's not there or that it's not important. The part about what happens to the brothers.
You want to tell us a Bible story about something that's not actually in the Bible.
Awesome.
Tricky.
Very.
I'm serious. Just because they didn't get called to be king doesn't mean they didn't get called. And just because they thought they didn't want to be king doesn't mean they should have been or would have liked to have been. Okay, go ahead.
Fine.
Well, yes, I guess it did turn out a little the way you said. Jesse and Samuel went off to find a new king.
See you later, kids. Samuel and I are off to make your little brother, the shepherd boy, king of Israel. Don't do anything stupid.
At last, the star enters.
Are you David?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Well, you're king of Israel. Let's go get some lunch. I'm starved.
Wait, that's it? That's my whole part? Come back!
What just happened?
Dude, that was seriously the worst answer anybody ever gave in the history of Kings R Us.
That's not what I'm talking about.
No, seriously, that was epic.
Enough! Can't you see what just happened? Did you get it? All this time we've been doing everything we were supposed to. Going to school, studying hard, getting straight A-lifts. Then all of a sudden when something good finally comes along, they give to the starry-eyed dreamer kid? Just because the Samuel guy says so? What's up with that? Did it ever occur to you that that this Samuel guy might be wrong? Or that even if he's right about this country, there could be other countries out there just waiting for us to be king? Think about it. Don't you think you would make a better king than David?
Well, yeah, I guess so.
I guess so? Heck yeah, I mean, I know I would. I mean, who would make a better king than that kid? I mean, you're not exactly setting the bar high.
All I'm saying is that it's a big world out there. Who's to say there aren't any other countries out there that we could build up and make more prosperous and bigger? And then we could come back and show everybody they made a mistake.
I don't know. Dad needs us here, and what if being king is harder than it looks?
Well, are you scared? Boo! I guess we could always just come back.
I don't know. Dad could really worry if we're gone.
We'll leave a note. Okay, everybody in?
This is awesome! A coming of age story. A quest story. 6 kids trying to prove themselves when no one said they could. I think I'm gonna name you Rocky. Oh, and you could be Rudy. Only this.
All right, yeah, we get your point, but I'm not sure we get yours. If this story's not in the Bible, then how do you know all this?
I don't know. I'm just trying to think about how those other kids felt when they didn't get called. I'm just thinking it probably feels a little like how it felt for us when we didn't call to get something that we wanted, or when somebody else does, or when sometimes we get called for something we don't want.
So this is about us now, isn't it?
It's not everybody. Let's just see where it goes.
Anybody want popcorn?
So the 6 kids divided up and went off in 3 directions to see what the world had in store for them. First, Carly and Ian came to the land of Onay.
Oh, nay.
Sounds like a fancy pronunciation of land number 1. Bet you the other kids end up going to land number T-Woo and land number 3.
I'm trying to come up with another.
It works for me. Keep going.
Fine, like I said, they got to land number Onay.
You know, my little brother, you could help me carry all of this.
You're right. I could.
But you won't.
No.
Have you noticed that we've only been out on the road here a couple of days and I've already turned the tiny little amount I brought with me into a small fortune?
Yup.
Yep.
I noticed.
Right. In that time, what's happened to the small amount you brought with you?
I spent some and I gave some away.
There you go, Ian, this whole king thing. You're just not cut out for it. Now me, on the other hand, I think this is my calling. I mean, accumulating this much stuff already, it won't be long before I'll have enough money to buy a kingdom. Heck, why not 2 or 3 or all of them? You get my point.
No?
God must have chosen this to be my destiny, or else how could I be so good at it? And if I may say so myself, it was pretty smart of God to call me to be this rich. Because this is exactly the calling I would have chosen for myself, if anybody asked.
I'm not sure it was God who called you to be rich. You sold your broken sundial to that poor widow.
Because I was smart enough to wait until noon when there wouldn't be any shadow anyways.
And then you got some gold paint and disguised your regular coins. As gold coins.
I know, genius.
Actually, I was thinking of a different word.
And that word, my friends, is jealous.
You can keep looking for a different word.
And I've been thinking about it. You like God to call you to be rich too. I'm going to tell you my secrets of wealth.
Wow, that's really nice of you, I think.
And all you gotta do is sign up for my 12 course, 4-semester, Carly University plan.
Carly University.
Has a nice ring to it, don't you think?
You want me to pay you before you tell me how to make money? I'm your brother.
Wow, I never really thought of it that way. You can pay me after you get my first secret, after you see for yourself how well it works.
What a deal.
And here's my first lesson. What do you see when you see those people coming towards us?
I see some poor people who use our help.
Ian. You'll never get a kingdom that way. I'll tell you what I see when I see those people. I see customers.
Customers, hold up that for a second. I don't think they have any money.
Ian. Watch and learn.
Please help us, we're poor.
Am I glad you asked? I just happen to have some hummus and
Thank you.
And what did I hear about this land you have?
It's been our family for generations.
Oh look, over there, some poor people who look like they could use our help.
Take the land.
And you'll take the food? Now that's how it's done. What are you doing?
I'm going to give them some food without asking for their land.
What?
And then I was thinking, rather than complaining about what might not be able to grow on their land, I could figure out what could.
So you're saying here.
I think I will.
You're never gonna be king that way.
Maybe that's not the most important thing. I don't think I'm up to it. Maybe I never was.
Loser! Doesn't let God call you to be anything. Fine, do what you gotta do. I'm going to answer my calling.
Now, after we share this meal, let's go see that land of yours you say isn't growing anything.
You know, I'm not sure Ian was right about not having a call.
Well, if he did, I'm pretty sure it's not one I want.
Yeah, but
Cutting you both off right there.
You're cutting us off.
Well, I realize that this is becoming a classic rule of three structure, and we're only through the first sequence. Church won't be out before noon at this rate.
Who are you?
yeah, we were serving an important function in the play by framing the central theme until you broke in.
Help us out here.
She's right. Well, we don't want to get to the moral of this movie too soon. And besides, I think I see Shema and Kathleen over there.
Well, Kathleen, what do you think?
To tell you the truth, Shema, it doesn't look like much of a kingdom to me.
That's because you don't see it through my eyes. You see what's in front of you. I see what it can be. Don't mean to be harsh, my naive little sister. But that's what separates kings from, well, you.
Not that it's a competition.
Oh, but it is, my little sibling. Oh, but it very much is. Look how far we, or should I say I, have come in such a short time.
I don't know, maybe 100 miles or so.
Metaphorically, Kathleen, metaphorically. What is the essence of a kingly rule, I ask you?
I don't know, Shema. Justice, maybe? Protecting people? Fixing potholes?
Don't be silly. It's power. Raw, unadulterated power.
I don't know, Shema.
It's power, I tell you. Look at my army. When we left home, we had nobody. And now look at us. Parade before me, my army.
Again?
Now. They love me.
They fear you.
Love, fear, what's the difference? The point is, they follow me. And do you know why that is?
Well, the first one over there you beat up and they follow you.
Exactly.
And then the two of you beat up the one over there. But you put the first one in charge of the second one, so he felt good about having someone to boss around. And so on until they're all following you because they know that you beat them up if they try to.
And do you know what that's called?
Bullying?
Leadership. I tell you, Kathleen, it's my calling. How could I be in any position to capture my first kingdom less than a year after we left home if this wasn't the destiny God had for me?
Maybe you're just really good at beating people up.
What I'm really good at is conquering. Do you see those people down there? Tomorrow, they will be mine.
Did you ever maybe think about leaving them alone? They don't look like they have much.
Then how will I be king?
Maybe that's not the most important thing.
I don't even know you. Now, will you be coming with me or not?
I think I'll stay back and wait till it's over. They're gonna need a lot of help after you get through with them. I think I can maybe be good with that.
I told you, Kathleen, you're just not king material. You just don't have a calling.
Maybe you're right, Shema. When we left home, I thought being king would be the greatest thing ever. Now that I see what it takes, I don't really think it's for me.
Suit yourself. Follow me.
are you beginning to get the feeling that we're not the good brothers in this story tent?
Definitely. But I'm still not sure I get the point.
I don't think you're supposed to.
We are not supposed to get the point?
Well, I mean, not yet anyway. There's still 2 brothers to go.
Seriously? That's what this is all about?
Well, they did already, learn their lives and their families are here and everything.
You really are.
Tricky?
No, weird.
Okay to go ahead?
Did we stop you?
No.
Have at it.
Glad you asked. So Jesse's 2 lost children, Abinadab and Jackson, traveled long and far until they found a great land where nobody was. That was where Abinadab decided they had been called to create a kingdom.
What are you doing?
I'm proclaiming this my kingdom.
What if it belongs to somebody else?
Then I will simply explain to them that it was my calling to have a kingdom, and this is it. So they have to give it to me.
And what if they feel called to keep it?
You obviously don't understand anything about callings.
Well, maybe not, but there's nobody here. What kind of kingdom is it with nobody in it?
The best kind? All this time we've been walking, I've had a lot of time to think.
That's great, about time.
You see, there are lots of ways to get a kingdom. You can get all the money in the world and buy one. You can get all the power in the world and take one. Follow me?
So far.
But as soon as you do, somebody else will get more money or more power, and before you know it, they'll try to take the kingdom away from you. What kind of calling is that?
You figured that out all by yourself.
Don't act so surprised.
Well, after the answer you gave to Sammy's question before.
Can you please just let that drop? I was having a bad day. I froze.
Okay, so what'd you figure out?
So after all this walking and thinking, I finally figured out the problem with callings.
What's that?
Other people.
Other people.
Exactly! If there were no other people around, it would be so easy to rule the kingdom I was called to rule.
Yes. Yes, but
So that's why we came all this way to find a place where there wasn't anybody else around to get in the way of my kingdom. Unfortunately, you have to go. You're standing on my kingdom.
but I don't want to go.
Uh-oh. Benedict Lynn's first war. To arms!
I don't want to fight either.
Look, you don't have to go far. I don't need this whole land for my kingdom. Maybe you can just go get called to your kingdom over there.
Where?
There, just out of sight.
But I don't want to go out of sight. And I don't want a kingdom.
What? You don't want a kingdom?
Well, not for me being alone all the time.
Wasn't getting the kingdom you were called to rule all to yourself the whole point?
Well, actually, I was kind of worried about you. The way you acted so resentful and angry. I'm not saying back at that one.
Seriously?
I thought you might need me.
Well, what do we do now?
We could go home.
And leave my kingdom? Never.
I think Dad would be really glad to see you.
I kind of miss him too. But still,
Well, in the meantime, we can stay here. It's a really nice kingdom.
thanks.
Where are you thinking of building your castle?
Over there.
It's a nice view.
Thanks, that's what I was thinking. Of course, over there might be nice too.
It'd be very nice.
Come on, it's a long way back. We should get going.
Tom, I think that explains everything. My work here is done. My proud.
That is awesome.
Excuse me.
That explains nothing.
I know, but gotta admire their confidence.
Look, I guess it was a good story. Sort of. And I guess maybe we were complaining a little too much. But after that, you lost me.
And I was paying real close attention. There weren't any warp 2x4s in the whole story.
You know, it's getting harder and harder to do good storytelling these years. We even promised to put a unicorn in this one, but there just wasn't any way this year. What? Look, I'm gonna need a little help here. Little help, please?
Well, that's the weirdest thing I've seen today. Second weirdest thing I've seen today. Oh
Hey,
my
what's up,
God.
Avery?
Dude.
What's going on?
Yeah, aren't you guys supposed to be in the Bible where you belong? Hey, can you need some help? What were you supposed to do? Leave a sister hanging? Oh my God. I guess we really.
Well, I was using your story to explain to my friends how things work and didn't work, and they kind of got stuck in a job that's kind of tough.
We're supposed to build an outdoor church with these.
Yikes, that's what I said.
Carly, why don't you do your thing?
Glad to. See, this whole calling thing is a little funny. It's not really about you. Remember how I wanted to be rich?
And I want to be powerful.
And I just wanted any kingdom I could get.
See, those are really calling. We were just taking whatever it is we wanted and figuring if we wanted it, it must be good. And if it must be good, it must be God's plan for us. But God really didn't have anything to do with that stuff.
Wait a minute. Aren't you supposed to be one of the bad brothers? It sounds like you're taking over the moral lesson of the play role.
Dude, that story happened 4,000 years ago. I would hope I've had a little chance to learn something all that time.
You got a point.
A calling is really something different. It's more service to God or God's people.
And it really starts with God, not us.
And it should be a little difficult or else it wouldn't be worth doing.
And even though God thinks about your gifts and strengths, sometimes you're gonna have to push yourself to do what God asks of you.
Hey, come on, Kathleen. You have to be one of the good brothers for 4,000 years. Can you give us a little chance now?
Sorry.
I'm still not sure what this has to do with us.
Well, so did you ever think about why you were called on to do this?
Because we're dopes who never say no?
Yes, in part, but there are other groups who never say no. Why do people think that you two would be really good at this and bringing this into existence?
I don't know. Well, I guess it was kind of our idea in the first place.
We kind of did have a bunch of ideas of what it should look like, too.
How about that?
Alright, fine, but what about the warped lumber? That wasn't our idea.
Maybe I can step in.
Be my guest.
You know, maybe it's like a metaphor.
Oh, we are so in trouble now. Does this always happen?
I'm serious. When you build a building or an outdoor worship space, of course you want the best tools and the best materials you can get. But a church really isn't just a building that you build with wood, you build it with people. And just like this wood, none of us are perfect.
And whatever issues we have, or whatever things we want for ourselves, or even think we need for ourselves, God calls us to serve God and God's people.
And in serving God and bending ourselves to God's purposes, we sometimes straighten out our workplaces.
So, your point is we still have to build this thing.
And we still have to use this warped lumber.
Actually, what I was going to say is you guys look like you could use some help. I don't know that much about carpentry, but I'm learning a lot about community.
Yeah, and we've been resting for 4,000 years. There's no reason we couldn't help too. What do you say, brothers?
Yeah.
How? I guess anything really can happen in this story too. You know what? There's probably gonna be some tricky parts. I hope too. Let's do this. Let's go. Woo! Okay.
Aren't you all forgetting something?
Like what?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This is the part where someone says, aren't we all supposed to sing a song, right?
Yeah, that's the next line.
I haven't had any lines this whole thing. Can I at least have that one?
Fine.
All right. Aren't we all supposed to sing a song, right?
Right.